opportunity of preaching. Stand in the place where preaching happens. Nothing short of a privilege. But God, I stand here realizing that I have nothing good to say that will do a soul any good. But that you are the God who holds the words that leads to eternal life. God, stand in my body. Think with my mind. Talk with my tongue. For your people away. God, just let me preach. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. How many of you have made Jesus your Lord? Started out a long time ago. Glad I made Jesus my choice. Devon's good to see you. Amen. Amen. There's a word from the Lord in the book of Jonah. I want to talk about something we only refer to when we're talking about our children.
Hey, Jonah.
Oftentimes not realizing that we are children. We are the children of God. And we at times act like our children. And are disobedient. Oh, it got quiet then. Now, we don't like the word disobedient. And people, mostly ladies, try to get me to leave it out of the marriage vows. You know, that obey part. And that in itself is an attempt at rebellion. And by the way, that's what disobedience is. It's rebellion. It's insubordination, it's defiance, it's mutiny, it's revolt, it's usurping authority. And this morning I want to take a look at disobedience as it relates to the children of God in particular. And nobody gives us a better picture of that than Jonah. You remember Jonah? Yes. Jonah was a man of God, a prophet who disobeyed God and went in the wrong direction. And when you look at Jonah, his disobedience puts him in a jam. And that's what I want to talk about this morning, Jonah's jam. Somebody say Jonah's jam. Jonah's jam. Let's go to the first chapter of Jonah and get started. I said it's all right if we go to the first chapter of Jonah and get started. In verse 1 and 2, God gives Jonah an assignment. Listen to what it says. Now the word of the Lord came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry out against it, for their wickedness has come before me. Go tell, God tells Jonah to go and tell the Ninevites. He says, Jonah, it has come up before my sight that Nineveh is out of control. And so I want you to go to Nineveh and preach. I want to talk about this because every born-again Christian has been given an assignment by God. God didn't save you and gift you with no purpose on his mind. After all, we were all created to glorify him. If he saved your soul and you call him Lord, he's given you an assignment. And he's spoken that assignment into your spirit. By whatever means he speaks to you, he has spoken it to you. It may have been audibly, it may have been through a sermon or through a song or through a passage of scripture, but he has spoken your assignment to you. Now, most people believe that God only speaks to those that he called to preach. Y'all ain't saying that. But that's not true. God speaks to each and every one of his children around their assignment as it relates to kingdom work. And let me tell you this. He doesn't call everybody to the pulpit ministry. Some he calls to the ministry of help. Some he calls to the ministry of service. Some he calls to the music ministry, the ministry of hospitality, while others he calls to the ministry of administration. If everybody in ministry is not supposed to preach. If everybody was called to preach, we'd have a mess up in here. Folk will be lined up talking about when is it gonna be my time? And you ain't let me preach in 3 months. And you let brother so-and-so preach 2 times and I didn't get to preach for 1 time. Don't you know somebody got to usher and somebody got to sing on the choir and somebody's got to run the office and welcome the visitors and do the announcement and work with the children and teach Sunday school and visit the sick? I don't care how messed up you are or how far you failed or what you did, God has an assignment for you. Tell somebody and say, what's your assignment? And some of you are doing what Jonah did. You are avoiding your assignment. It's right there in verse 3. But Jonah arose to flee to Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. He went down to Joppa and found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare and went down into it to go to them to Tarshish from the presence of God. Look at Jonah, y'all. He thought he could actually get away from God's assignment. And some of you think you can get away from God. But the writer in the letter to the Romans tells us that the gifts and graces and callings of God are irrevocable. That means that once God has gifted you and called you, he won't take it back. I need to talk about that. I need to talk about that because the enemy has led some of you to believe that because you did a little something in your past, that God has pulled your assignment. But God knew you were going to mess up when he gave you the assignment. You see, God knows your weaknesses and your shortcomings. He knows them before he gave you the assignment. Nothing is a surprise to God. Jonah boarded the ship for Tarshish, thinking that he could get away from God. But what he didn't realize was when God gives you an assignment, he puts the hounds of heaven on your trail. Oh, I know I'm right about it because I didn't want to preach. I ran from it. Did all kinds of things trying to get away from God. But he put them hounds on me. And they dogged my heels. The truth be told, I almost went to hell trying to get away from the hounds of heaven. But his gifts and calling is irrevocable. David said, where shall I go from thy spirit? Where shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, I'll run into him there. And some of y'all like Jonah, been trying to get away from God. But I don't care where you go, he's there. You can go in the club and be standing at the bar with a drink in one hand and a cigarette in the other, and he'll show up at the bar. You can be in the grocery store picking over the produce, squeezing tomatoes, and he'll show up in the lettuce. You can be out in the yard polishing the tailpipe of the car, and he'll come in through that smoke. You can be in the kitchen washing dishes, and he'll show up in your kitchen. In our text, God told Jonah to go east, but instead he went west. But what he actually did was went down. Somebody say he went down. I don't care who you are, where you come from. When you try to avoid the assignment of God, you're going down. Y'all ain't got to believe it's in the book. Verse 3 says, he went down to Joppa. Then he went down into the ship. He's trying to get away from God, what God told him to do, and the more he tries to get away, the further down he goes. And let me tell you this, God always takes action on disobedience. Jonah goes down to Joppa, buys a ticket, goes down into the ship, and heads for Tarshish in an attempt to avoid God's assignment. But look at God's actions in verse number 4. But God sent a great wind on the sea, and there was a mighty tempest, so that the ship was about to break up. Y'all ain't saying nothing, but can we talk? Yeah. I said, can we talk up in here?
Yeah.
Some of the drama that's in your life is not from the devil. Some of the drama is God's action against your disobedience. I know I'm going to get many amen, but that's all right, I got to preach it anyway. Y'all ain't saying that because you want to put the drama on the devil. But some of the stuff ain't got nothing to do with the devil. It has to do with your disobedience.
All right.
Verse 4 says, God sent a great wind. Jonah is on the ship, and there's turmoil on the ship. And the reason for the turmoil is Jonah's disobedience. I know y'all don't like this kind of preaching. I don't know who this is for, but it's for somebody in here. Somebody was disobedient, and now your stuff is all jacked up. And it's affecting everybody around you. You chose to disobey, and your whole house is in turmoil. Your ministry is torn